I'm gonna give, well, it just turned 7 o'clock. I started early. Let me let the people come in here and fill out the poll. Welcome if you are new here, if you've never seen me before, or some of y'all just found me on, I think, TikTok or Instagram today and jumped in the masterclass. So, welcome. If this is your first time, it'll be a good time. I know y'all not here for a long time, but a good time. But let me be honest, sometimes we do go for a while. So just know the replay will be available tomorrow. I will send out the replay so you can watch it. Um, if we go for a while, you guys, you just go to bed. It's okay. You can go to sleep. I don't mind. If you want to, like I say, you can just put the phone next to your pillow if you want to and just close your eyes and listen with your ears and not with your eyes. It's okay with me. I won't be offended. Um, Everybody, if you want to fill in the poll, I'll give y'all a few more seconds and then we will jump in to tonight's class, all about the phases of foreclosure, right? There's 3 phases of foreclosure. Most people just have no idea. Honestly, you just hear foreclosure, that means they got behind on their mortgage and the bank took their house. But most people don't know the process of foreclosure. Or people are like, I want to buy a foreclosure. But you're like, I don't know where to buy, which one to buy. Do I want to come to the auction and see you? Do I want to bank on property? So that is what we're going to talk about tonight. What's the best foreclosure for you? If you're an investor, what's the best strategy for you, you guys? So, okay, I'm going to give the poll 10 more seconds. So if you want to answer, go ahead and answer, and then I will share it with the entire class, and then we will get started. So, y'all got 8 seconds. 8, 7, 6, 5. Like I said, the replay will be available tomorrow. So if you have to leave or anything like that, don't worry. You'll get to watch the replay tomorrow and take notes. I don't think I talk fast. Do y'all think I talk fast? The ones that know me, y'all think I talk kind of fast or no?
No.
Okay.
No.
Okay. Because some people are like, Ashley, you talk kind of fast. Is it because you're an auctioneer? I'm like, I try to slow it down, you know? So, okay, you guys, I'm going to end the poll so y'all can see it. So you can see what's going on in here. So, quite a few. Okay, so we got a few brand new. We kind of crossed the board. Pre-foreclosures, bank owned, all the above. Okay, okay, you guys. So we're pretty evenly split. So let's jump in tonight, you guys. Let's jump in. And you guys, let me do an introduction. Let me warn you, if you've never been to my master classes before, I have slides, but I don't really know why I make slides because I can really just talk without slides. But I have them up there so you can follow along, keep going. So sometimes I get off and we'll refer back to the slides. But let's jump in, you guys. I'm going to share my screen. Let's make sure you can see my screen. Okay, you guys, can y'all see my screen?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Kia, Ray,
Yes,
Elise,
yes.
y'all don't mind being right there in the camera? Y'all gonna be in the camera. I'll just put it on me, you guys. Don't be surprised if I put the camera on y'all. Welcome, everybody. If you don't know me, I am Ashley Pickens, right? Your auction mama. Let me do my YouTube spill, right? I'm Ashley Pickens here in Memphis, Tennessee. You guys, I've been in real estate since 2006. I got licensed in 2006 as a real estate agent. Then I became a real estate broker over a firm with about 30 agents. And then about 8 years ago, I became an auctioneer. I became y'all's auction mama. And so I auction off foreclosures for the attorneys. So I'm here in Shelby County, all across North Mississippi, Nashville, and the surrounding area. So that is what I do. I am that person who says going once, going twice, sold. That is me. Okay. So tonight we're talking all about foreclosures. Let me do some quick housekeeping. Let me do some quick housekeeping. First of all, the chat distracts me. I recognize that it distracts me. So I know y'all will have questions as we go. I will take questions, but I can't stare at the chat because I'll get off and y'all will get to talking about deals and all kinds of stuff that y'all got, and I'll get distracted. The other thing, I know what it's like when we get a room full of investors together. A room full of hustlers who like to make money and who like to make deals. Y'all gonna be in my chat networking. I know how y'all do this. So I'm gonna give you a chance, you guys. I'm gonna give you a chance at the end. Y'all can network, plug where you're from, what you're looking for, all that kind of stuff. So just hold tight, you guys, because that can distract other people too, you guys. Also, the replay will be available tomorrow. I will send it out. Y'all can watch the replay, take notes, all that kind of stuff. As we go along, if I have a tool or a resource that fits in this phase of foreclosure, I'll share it. Some things like REOs, you guys, I don't have a resource for REOs, but I'll teach you about it. I just don't have a specific resource for it. But pre-foreclosures auctions, I got you. And if I have it, I'll tell you about it. Okay. And as we go through, I'll drop some resources in the chat. You know, I'm good for giving away stuff. So keep your eye on that and I will let you know. So let's jump in. Oh, let me ask any questions. Look, before we get started, any questions, anybody? Yes, no, drop them in the chat. Boom. We're gonna have a class full here, so I can't answer questions individually. Y'all turning on your mic, you know, with your kids yelling in the background and all that kind of stuff. So if you got a question, drop it in the chat and I will try to answer it as much as I can. Okay, so let's keep going. I like to always start with like a snapshot of what's going on in the real estate market currently. If you did not know, the distressed market is my jam. That is what I do. That is my niche. That is what I focus on. I love my first time home buyers. I used to work the residential market, the traditional market, but no comment. I have pivoted to the investment side. I primarily work with investors and I focused on the distressed market. That is what I like. So let's talk about what's going on thus far in 2025. So right now, 93,953 US properties had foreclosure filings in quarter one. So almost 100,000 properties were somewhere in the foreclosure process. And tonight we're talking about the phases of foreclosure. So when you see this, you can understand when you start seeing data and articles and all that kind of stuff, you're like, okay, Auction Mama taught me about this. So lenders started the foreclosure process on 68,794 properties in quarter one. Started the foreclosure process. Don't worry, I'm going to teach y'all. That's when that notice of default is filed. Lenders repossessed almost 10,000 properties, 9,691. These are called REO properties. Don't worry, I'm going to teach you all about this. The states that have the greatest number of REOs in quarter one. Michigan, did y'all see y'all state on here? Michigan with 665, California with 944, Pennsylvania, what y'all doing in Pennsylvania? 711 REOs, Illinois with 712, and Texas with 938. Illinois, Chicago, Naperville, Elgin area was like the number one foreclosure, has the number highest foreclosure rates right now. They're number one on the list. I just did a video with the top 10. So they are number one. I follow HUD's report on, they record, like they update every month with the latest housing insecurities across the country. Because look, y'all, if you watch the news, y'all gonna think everybody is current on their mortgage, everybody got a job, everybody still got stimulus checks. You know, we all eating pink starburst and jumping through sunflower fields if you watch the news. A lot of times. Now it's starting, for sure, it's starting to pivot depending on what you watch. So HUD reported that 4.3 million homeowner households were behind on their mortgage payments like last month, like right now behind. An estimated 1.06% or 879,000 homeowners feared foreclosure was imminent in the next 2 months. Let me say this, and other people like in the mentorship and think people who are in the distressed market know that these numbers are absolutely too low. Absolutely. I don't believe we are close to 4.3 million. We are way above 4.3 million homeowners being behind on their mortgage payments. If you're going to ask me, we closer to 10 million as far as homeowners go. As far as renters, it says we have 5.5 million renter households behind on rent payments, with nearly 2 million renters reporting that they feared eviction was imminent. So, y'all thought everybody was current on their mortgage, and they are not. So that is why I focus on the distressed market, and that is why I do master classes and do videos and try to teach y'all about what's going on. You know, if you're an investor, maybe your strategy. If you're a homeowner, ways to keep your home. You know, I'm just trying to, you know, do what I can do. So, you guys, and here we go. March 2025, 4.8 million homeowners were behind, 5.5 million renters were behind. So, if we add all these numbers up, you guys, we got about 10 million people that are behind on their housing right now. And honestly, I feel like it's only going to get worse. I have to say that I auctioned today. I was at the courthouse in Mississippi, and auction.com was out there too. A lady from auction.com was auctioning. And I asked her, I was like, do you see it picking up like I see it picking up? And she was like, absolutely. She's like, I've been working every day. She's like, auctions usually cancel and get postponed, which I see all the time. But she's like, these banks are starting to foreclose on these people. So just a little heads up. So the different types of distressed properties. Again, I work on the distressed market. That's bankruptcy, short sale, REO, airship. Tonight, we are talking about pre-foreclosures, REOs, and auction properties. I'm going to pause to see if y'all have any questions. I'm trying to work on that. Let's see. Ooh, you know, I have to add a little razzle dazzle to the masterclass. You can't teach people new stuff. Like you can't teach, like if you tell me I can make fireworks happen, I'm going to use fireworks every single time I have a masterclass. Every single time. I didn't even look. I asked y'all if y'all had questions and asked me if I looked in the chat. Didn't even look in the chat, you guys. Let's see. Are there any questions? Y'all, I don't even see the chat. Look, I don't even see the chat anymore. Any question? Okay, here we go. Any questions? Did I miss any questions? Everybody's holding questions till the end. Okay. I see you, Tico and Florence. I see y'all. Welcome. I know you like, Ashley, how you just bust me out? Sorry, you guys. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. No questions? I must be doing good. I try to answer as many questions as I can. So, moving right along, let's get started for the real reason why you're here tonight. Look, I won't have the camera on y'all like that. Okay, hold on. Y'all ready? And meet Steve. If you've ever been to my masterclass, I'm gonna make it a story so you can understand, because I could just put some slides up here and just start bullet point talking, but y'all are gonna be like, Ashley, really? This is not a lecture, right? This is a masterclass. So y'all gonna learn today. Meet Steve. Steve was recently laid off from his job after 10 years of steady work. He's been applying, interviewing, LinkedIning, and everything. Been on 5 interviews, got to the 5th interview. They did not call him back. They told him, thanks for coming, right? He fell behind on his mortgage payments by 3 months and received a certified letter from the bank notifying him of pre-foreclosure. Steve is stressed out. He is stressed out. What do I say? Steve sits in his garage every day for 20 minutes before he go in the house because he is stressed out. So life is high, gas is high, eggs are high, everything is high right now. So Steve is behind and he's in pre-foreclosure. Pre-foreclosure, the first stage of foreclosure. You'll learn that there are 3 different phases of foreclosure. The first one, pre-foreclosure. The homeowner gets behind and that notice of default is filed. That is the first phase of foreclosure. And we're going to see if this is the investment strategy route you want to take. Pre-foreclosure, the initial stage in the foreclosure process when a homeowner falls behind on mortgage payments. Key things to remember as we go through here: the owner of the property will change, right? But I want you to make sure you know who it is during each phase so you know who you have to contact if you're interested in purchasing that property. So, in the pre-foreclosure phase, Steve still owns that property, okay? The homeowner is still the decision maker. The homeowner still owns the property. The lender has notified him that he's delinquent, but Steve still is the decision maker. Pre-foreclosure, not the same as foreclosure. The house is still theirs. This is the window where an investor or agent can step in and help them to avoid losing their property altogether. So let's keep going, class. Where do we find pre-foreclosures, right? Because if you're an agent and someone is behind, you can talk to them and possibly sell the property. If they're upside down on the property, which a lot of people will probably be in the next few years, you can initiate a short sale on the property. If you're an investor, I know I got some wholesalers on here. I will not tell you to raise your hand, but I know it's some wholesalers on here. So, Ray, I'm not going to tell you to raise your hand. So, where do we find pre-foreclosures? Zillow, auction websites like auction.com. Don't worry, I'm going to click on them and show you where to exactly find them. I'm not just going to put slides up here. I'm going to show you. Propwire.com. If you know me, you know I thoroughly enjoy propwire.com for free. It's similar to PropStream if you're familiar with it, but PropStream is $99 a month. No shade. PropWire is free. Also, foreclosure.com, great site to look up pre-foreclosures. Property Radar, and you can find the public notices. That's what a lot of people do. They look for the public notices. That is what the trustee files with the records and deeds with the county office. It's the notification that they file to let everybody know that this property is going up for auction. So a lot of people look for those notices. They're usually filed or posted 30 days before the auction. So a lot of people look for those to reach out to homeowners since the notice tells when their auction date is. Everybody with me? You can just nod your heads if you're with me. So how do you find public notices? You can check the county site. You can Google. It is 2025 at this point. You can Google public notices and your county name. That's a good way for it to pull up. A lot of times they're in smaller publications, like a small newsletter, not newsletter, newspaper. They're usually like in our weekly paper, they post the county notices. Again, PropWire, places like that, Zillow, you can look and find public notices. This is April 11th. So these notices, this is for Nashville right here. If your name is on this list, I'm sorry. I did not mean to put your business out like that. Just don't say anything and nobody will know. So these are public notices. This is Nashville. This is how they look. It comes out. It has the address, the advertised auction date, and when the notice went out, right? So if you're trying to find, you can find the public notices. They're usually in smaller publications. If you don't know where to find like the smaller newspapers, there's this place that's full of books and you can go in there full of books. They give you a little card. You can show them your card and you can rent the books. It's called the library. And sometimes they have the weekly newspapers that you can go in there and get them. So I know I'm a little old school, so I know libraries might not be a thing anymore. So what are some ways to reach out to homeowners in distress? Right? So this is what I do. If you follow me, you know that I do reach out to pre-foreclosures. I help people who are in foreclosure. If you notice, I have the little hearts and the little love sign because I always say when you're reaching out to people who are in foreclosure or in distress, lead with love. Y'all know that is my hashtag, lead with love. I know y'all be harassing the people, harassing, stalking, bullying. Lead with love, you guys. That's just my suggestion. Do what you feel comfortable doing, but I always say lead with love. So as you know, I send out letters. If you didn't know, I send out letters every single week, couple times a week, to people who are in foreclosure, just offering my assistance, see if they need help, make sure they know their options, and all of that. That's, I would say, mailing is, if you, because you see the next one is cold calling. That's not everybody's cup of tea, picking up the phone with the chances of getting cursed out. But some people cold call. You can cold call people, you can door knock. I live in Memphis. I dare not knock on anybody's door in Memphis. I saw, who was it who lives in Boston? Y'all might can knock on the door in Boston. I can't knock on the door in Memphis. So I stick to direct mail, calling, and some other methods. So that's a way you can reach out to homeowners in distress. Are there any questions as we go? I feel like I'm talking to myself. Hold on, I got to put some people. There we go. Now I feel better. Thanks. Alicia was like, "Dang it, Ashley." Sorry, Alicia. I felt like I was talking to myself. I need to see y'all nodding and smiling and stuff. Thanks, Kia. So, and Ray, I see you in the car. Thanks, you guys. Y'all know I need the interaction. So, door knocking, cold calling, direct mail. Let me make sure I have not missed any questions. Any questions? Any questions? No questions? I must be doing really good if I don't have any, y'all don't have any questions. I'm trying to take a break. If you know me, you know I do not, I can talk. Like if you know me, y'all know that I can talk. Like it's no period. It's a I just keep going. So if you got a question, drop it in the chat while I'm looking. Okay. I must be doing really good. Look at us, you guys. Y'all came for a good time, not a long time. That's right. Let's keep going. If you got questions, drop it in the chat and I'll answer it. Let me find where we were. Okay. Back to where we were, class. Next slide. Hold on, you guys. Let me close it. I didn't click too much. How to buy a pre-foreclosure. How to buy a pre-foreclosure. Who did I say was the decision maker when it comes to pre-foreclosures? Kia. Who's the decision?
Homeowner.
Yes, the homeowner is still the decision maker when it comes to buying a pre-foreclosure. So if you want to buy it, that's who you have to get in contact with. Okay? It's not the bank. Y'all call me when stuff goes into foreclosure. Ashley, especially if I post an auction. Ashley, can I call the attorney? Can I call the bank and talk to them about buying the property? Y'all call the homeowner. If the auction has not come yet, if there's an auction at the end of the month, you talk to the homeowner. The homeowner is still in charge and still the decision maker on a pre-foreclosure. So you got to send them a letter, you got to send them a message in a bottle, a bird, a telepathy. We got to do something, a telegram to get in contact with that homeowner. So PropWire is a good place too. You can skip trace, you can reach out, send a letter, but the homeowner is the decision maker. So if they're going to sell it, that's who you have to talk to. Also, pre-foreclosures, y'all are always like, but no, I get it because y'all don't know. When it comes to buying a pre-foreclosure, it's just like a traditional sale, okay? You can use financing, like if it was a for sale by owner. The homeowner's the decision maker. So you can use FHA, conventional, FHA 203K, hard money, private money, whatever you want to use. You can use that when buying a pre-foreclosure. That makes sense because you're dealing with the homeowner. And a lot of times it's the better route because you're talking to the homeowner, and you'll see when we get to auctions. You're talking to the homeowner, you can go inside of the property, you can do an inspection, all of those things, unlike auctions, and you'll see when we get there. Oh, you guys, I'm going to share that with you. Hold on. So you can use traditional financing on that. Don't forget though, like a typical traditional sale, you guys get a home, do your due diligence, right? Especially if you're, I was gonna say, especially if you're like a first-time home buyer, but I'm not saying that I would suggest a first-time home buyer market to pre-foreclosures and then try to negotiate a deal, right? Like I wouldn't say that would be your best route. I'm not saying you can't do it, but especially if you don't know the ins and outs of buying a property, I would not suggest you go that route, right? But for everybody else, for everybody. Do your due diligence, right? If you're going to buy this property, go inside, do a home inspection, look around, know what you're getting into, right? And then it's typical. Use your closing attorney, your escrow company, whoever you use to close the deal, right? Pull that title, pull that title, pull the title, pull the title, look at the title, do a title search, do a title search. I'm gonna say it one more time. Make sure you do a title search. Okay. Do that for sure. I talked about in the mentorship last night. Order a payoff because a lot of people who are behind are looking at their mortgage statement and they see one number as their payoff. And a lot of times that number is not their payoff. Okay. I learned that this week. Not that I learned it this week, but it just showed me again this week that the payoff and what's on their mortgage statement can be vastly different. Okay. I'm going to leave it at that. So do your due diligence when you're buying a pre-foreclosure. Okay. Realtors, I dare not say realtors, but realtors, real estate agents, you guys, if you're working with a homeowner who is behind on their mortgage and you want to help them sell it, talk to that lender. Just stay in communication with the lender. Do not try to outrun an auction. Do not try to outrun an auction. You know what I mean? And I know there's a lot of times as a real estate agent, you might not know that they're in foreclosure, right? But once you find out they're in foreclosure, I would get on the phone with the lender and let them know we're going to sell the property. Usually they will postpone that auction if they know the homeowner is trying to sell it. They will give you time to sell it. Do not try to outrun an auction. There has been plenty of times where I have called agents because their property that they just listed on the market, I'm auctioning it off on Friday at the end of the week. And I'll say, hey, that property you just listed is up for auction on Friday. I knew they were in foreclosure, but they didn't tell me their auction was that soon. It is. It's on Friday. Call the bank and let them know. Because I think it's, you guys, it's unfair if you have your property on the market, you're in foreclosure, and you have a buyer to come, right? And they're doing inspections, putting down earnest money, planning to move, and then your house goes in, you go into auction, you go for auction, right? I auction houses all the time that show pending in Zillow. And I'm like, ooh, wait, I hope a buyer is not anticipating buying this property because I'm about to auction it off. Like just communicate, 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 communicate. That's all. That's the word of the night. Communicate. So, like I said, if I have something that would work for you, if you're interested in sending letters, you don't know where to start, y'all, I made letters for y'all. I don't know how many of y'all have got these letters, but at least 300 of y'all. So, you guys, I got them for foreclosures, abandoned and vacant homes, and probate. Letters, you can customize them, send them, all that kind of stuff. You guys, I'll drop the link in the chat. Everything is in one link. And then the vacant outreach, they have like little door hangers. I made y'all some door hangers, some little brochures, trying to make y'all look like some little foreclosure experts out here, you guys. So let's keep moving. Hold on. Any questions? Pause. Any question? Chat, let me look at the chat. 3 new messages. Let's see what y'all are saying. What does pending mean? What about a loan assumption? Come on, everybody, with your questions, Sandra, Anthony, and Sean. Okay, so how do you get the homeowner's contact information? Sandra, you're going to have to skip trace them. Like you're going to have to white pages, prop wire, prop stream, all the little skip tracing ways that they have. But you can skip trace them. On prop wire, it's 10 cents address to skip trace, and it will give you their phone number. And then that way you can reach out to them, call them, lead with love. What about a loan assumption? So it depends on what the deal is, because I knew we was going to have some creative financing people in here tonight, right? So it depends on that situation, right? I know y'all are talking subject to assuming the loan. If you don't know what that is, you guys, that's when a buyer will come in, especially if you have a low interest rate of like 2% or 3%, they will come in and take over your loan. But you have to go through the process of getting that loan. And then you come in, assume their loan, their payment, and their interest rate. But you do have to qualify for that. You can. right? That is an option. Absolutely. If you talk to the homeowner and you see they've got a great low interest rate, their payment is low, you're going to have to catch up that mortgage if they are behind. Of course, they're behind, they in pre-foreclosure. You might have to pay that money to redeem the loan and then take it over, and all that kind of stuff. So yeah, that's also an option for sure. Short sale, sell it, assume it. All of those things are options. Is there an app or site you can recommend? Sandra, propwire.com. Propwire.com. Try it. It's absolutely free. I'll walk y'all through this toward the end in case, some of y'all got to go to sleep. If you've ever been to my masterclass before, it's like the masterclass and then it's the party after the masterclass. So just hold tight. But yeah, PropWire, white pages. I use white pages too. You're welcome. What does pending mean? So like, when and I'm sorry, I'm glad you asked that because I can use some real estate lingo and y'all like, what does that mean? Um, Pending, that's when you go under contract. Like if a house is for sale and somebody has put a contract on it and the real estate agent changes it to pending. So it's not on the market anymore. It's under contract. It's in the process of being sold. So when I said I have auctioned off properties that showed pending in Zillow or showed pending in the MLS. So I know they have a contract on it, right? Or a buyer has a contract on it. But the homeowner or the seller did not talk to the bank and it still goes up for auction. You know what I mean? How heartbreaking is that for a buyer who's put down earnest money, probably gave their notice to where they're going to live, packed up everything, done it and paid money for an inspection and appraisal and everything else, and the house they want goes up for auction because nobody said anything, So that's what that is. Hope that makes sense on how do you make an offer to the homeowner. You gotta get to them and talk to them and see if they're open to selling. Absolutely. Yep, that's how it works. Just open up the doors of negotiation and see if they're open to possibly selling it, right? So, any more questions? Did I get your questions? I did pretty good on that, you guys. How do you redeem a mortgage? That means you catch up the past due payment when people are behind. And I'll show you some examples of that. Um, you have to catch up what they're behind to stop the foreclosure. So if they haven't paid in 3 months, 6 months, 3 years, they're behind a good amount of money. In order to bring that mortgage current, you have to pay whatever's past due, redeem it, redemption, reinstate it, all the RE words. So, any other questions before we move on to the next phase of foreclosure? Can a property still be sold? Yeah, I see your question, Herman. Yes, you just, again, homeowner, talk to the bank, let them know that they're going to sell it. A lot of times a contract will stop an auction. If you let the bank know or the trustee know that you're going to sell it and you can send them a contract, they will postpone that auction. So that makes sense to everybody. How to protect ourselves hold on, I'm gonna have to answer your question. I got you. I'm gonna have to understand it. Um, we are now in the second phase of foreclosure, and we can talk about all that, you guys, when it comes to questions, and I can go into more detail and explain it and all that kind of stuff. I'm gonna try to get through this master class so everybody who on the East Coast can go to sleep at a timely manner. Even though tomorrow is a Good Friday, so I don't know if y'all are off of work. But remember Steve, you guys. Remember Steve. Steve is still struggling. He might be smiling in this picture, but he crying on the inside. His wife is crying on the inside too. So, still struggling. She drinking a whole bottle of wine every night before bed because she see the bills piling up and y'all knocking on the door, driving by, leaving post-it notes on the door, texting every day, calling all day, stressed. That's what they are, stressed out. So, Steve is still struggling to pay his mortgage. Steve is 3 months behind on his mortgage, and he just received a certified letter in the mail that notice of default has been filed. Steve is officially in foreclosure, everybody. So let's keep going. So here are a couple of things that I have seen. Again, I work with homeowners that are in foreclosure. So I see everything all the time. I see what these payoffs look like. I see what these mortgage statements look like. Here's one where they were behind $25,000. So when you asked, how do you redeem it? How do you bring it back current? You would have to pay that $25,000 to bring it back current, right? If that's the method you were going for redeeming, if you were going to do that. Most of y'all just buy it outright, right? Make sure, hold on, because y'all know I have to do this. You're talking about redeeming a loan, redeeming the mortgage. You guys make sure, like, I would not suggest that for just an average, not calling y'all average, you know what I'm saying? But if you're not experienced investor in real estate, you're talking about redeeming somebody's mortgage, you got to make sure your name is on that title. You're not just about to catch somebody's house mortgage up and you don't own that house, right? Make sure you know the terms. You're just about to bring them current. So make sure you know the terms if you're talking about redeeming. Most people just buy the house outright, right? And then they can sell it and go on. So that's when I put my face in the screen, that means it's serious. That's what it means. So you can redeem it, but I mean, make sure you understand you got a good contract locked in if you're going to redeem somebody's mortgage and all that kind of stuff. Do you ask the homeowner for the statement? I do, Kurt, because I lead with love and they give me their mortgage statement. Now, everybody else, if you're like calling them, quick close, all that kind of stuff, they're not going to give you that payoff, right? You're just going to have to negotiate a price with them. But since they know, like, and trust me, they will share that information with me because I'm here to offer them options. I'm not just trying to buy their house from them. I'm trying to see if they want to keep it. And I'm going to do everything I can to help them keep the house, right? And if they want to sell it, then I will help them do that. So, Kurt, not all the time. I will say the average investor probably is not going to get their payoff, right? You're just going to talk to them and see what see what price they're looking for, especially if you haven't built that relationship with them. Yes, it is recorded and the replay will be sent out tomorrow, you guys. So if you have to go to work or go to bed or go watch your favorite show, you know what I mean? Y'all can come watch this tomorrow or go eat dinner, you know? Y'all might be off tomorrow. Y'all might be trying to hang out tonight. So here's one, $25,000 past due. Here's another one, $21,000 past due. Like the numbers I showed you, it's a lot of people behind on their mortgage and not just 3 months, not just 4 months. I'm talking about it's people who have not paid since COVID. And we're going on year 5 since COVID. So it's people who have not paid in 5 years who are behind on their mortgage and in foreclosure. Here's one behind. This is their past due payment amount. Is they haven't paid in years. You know what I mean? So when you talk about reinstating somebody's loan, you better make sure before you drop off $100,000 to reinstate it, you have all the terms and conditions airtight of how you're going to buy it and all that kind of stuff. So, oh, look, I even made a slide. Any questions, you guys? Any questions? Any questions? No? We doing okay? Okay. I must be answering them as we go. Okay. No questions. No questions. I'm going to keep going. So let's keep going. Steve has 30 days to pay his past due amount. I didn't mean to put me in the screen. To pay his past due amount, or his home will go up for auction. When he gets that notice of default, it says, hey, you are behind this amount. You need to pay your entire past due amount, which might be $25,000. You need to pay $25,000 or your house is going up for auction on May 1st. That's the letter that they send out to people. Okay. So Steve has 30 days to pay his past due amount. I don't know on my face. There we go. Pay his past due amount or his home will go up for auction. Steve tried but was unable to pay his mortgage. His home went up for auction. And I put a little note, depending on where you live, this process could take longer depending on if you're in a judicial state or non-judicial state. I live in Memphis. I always say this. They don't really care about us in Memphis. So I am a non-judicial state. They will file that notice of default, and in 30 days they will take your house here in Memphis. Other places, judicial, y'all got to go to court. Y'all have a certain amount of time. It can take 6, 7, 8 months to foreclose in some states, in judicial states. So just know what state you live in. And look at me, your auction mama. This is my time to shine. So, what is an auction, you guys? It's a public event. It is open to the public. It is open to the public. Y'all ask me that all the time. Can I come to the auction? It is open to the public. Unlike, I know, like car auctions, you have to have a license to bid, all that kind of stuff. I am at the courthouse, you guys. Auction.com, they're in a conference room. It's open to the public. It's free. You can come in person. Interested bidders gather, place bids on properties. The bidder with the highest bid wins the property, right? Who owns the house at this point? All the way up to the auction, it is the homeowner. And I have a slide about this. The homeowner can file bankruptcy the morning of an auction and stop an auction, right? That's what can happen. So all the way up into the auction, when you're on these sites like auction.com, Hubzoo, and I'll share sites with you, don't worry, PropWire, and you see an auction scheduled, you can still reach out to that homeowner, right? You have to pay $10,000 or your house will go up for auction on May 1st. You have until May 1st to reach out to that homeowner and see if maybe you can help them out of their situation. Does that make sense to everybody? I know a lot of times when y'all see the word auction, you're like, oop, I'm out. But, all the way up until the auction, you can absolutely talk to that homeowner. Okay, you guys, I see the questions coming in. Can you renegotiate with the bank? That's more like a short sale. You know what I mean? Short sale, you can negotiate with the bank if it's an REO property when we get there to the last phase of foreclosure. But usually, if the homeowner is still the owner, that homeowner has a debt, has a loan, and the bank wants them to pay it. Now, if they're upside down, then you can initiate a short sale right there. But when it's the homeowner still the decision maker, that bank is going to want their money, or you're going to have to do a short sale, right? Now, when the bank becomes the owner, then you can negotiate with the bank. I don't know, Brandy. Look, I don't know. It's plenty of people. It's plenty of people who have not paid in 5 years. How do you own a home? By helping someone get caught up on their mortgage. How do you own a home? By helping someone get caught up. Are there docs to sign or notaries? Do they call their lender to sign assumption docs, or do I get my own lender? So, how do you own a home? By helping someone get caught up on their, it's like, let me make sure. I'm gonna read your question. How do you own a home? By helping someone get caught up on their mortgage. Are there docs to sign? Okay, so if your sole purpose is to just help them get caught up, then God bless you, right? If that's what we out here doing, community service. Your purpose is you want to take ownership of that property, right? You want to be the new homeowner. So if you, and I know what it is because we talked about if you're going to redeem that mortgage. Again, that's not the typical way, Sandra. I don't want you starting to think like, how can I redeem the mortgage? When he brought up the question about assuming it and that kind of stuff, that's what they can do. They can assume. I'm about to confuse everybody in this masterclass, and I'm not going down that road with y'all. Sandra, you want to buy the house outright, okay? You don't want to catch up their mortgage at this point if you don't understand, because it is a process. If you redeem it, you need to make sure your name is on title. Yes, it's docs, notarized, everything. It's a whole process with that, okay? The most cleanest way, I feel like, is just buy that house outright. That would be the best way before you get caught up. I don't want you caught up. At any point, do we have to contact the trustee? The only time really the trustee will talk to you is, now let's say you're dealing with the homeowner and you're talking to the homeowner and you need some more information. Maybe you and the homeowner can talk to the trustee, but as long as that homeowner is still the decision maker, is still the homeowner, nobody's going to talk to you, right? They're going to have to authorize you to talk and all that kind of stuff. The homeowner is still in charge. So if you're trying to call the trustee to work out a deal with the trustee on a property, that's not going to happen. The trustee is going to say, you got to talk to the homeowner because they're still the decision maker. Now, if you're calling a trustee with the homeowner just to say, hey, we're trying to get an update status on what's going on, and the homeowner has given you permission to do that, yes. But other than that, not really. That makes sense, Tico? Any other questions? I'm doing really good with questions, you guys. I'm proud of myself, actually. Can you take over the existing loan? You can, but that's a whole nother, that's creative financing that you can, I know that's called assuming and subject to. Emoji, you're going to make everybody in this master class confused. So yes to that, but there's documents and stipulations and all that to go with it, okay? So the contact is the borrower homeowner. Do you know if the home can be purchased direct before auction? On Zillow, there are foreclosed homes set for auction. There is contact info for borrower homeowner. Yes, Alicia. Alicia, how you going? Let me, where, I need to put the camera on you. Alicia, yes, you know, before any time, and let me, I can't stress this enough. Maybe if I put my big face in the camera, y'all can hear me. Maybe you can see. So, 3 phases, you guys, I always say this, 3 phases of foreclosure. When they file that notice of default, right? Notice of default, auction scheduled, property repossessed. When the homeowner gets behind on their mortgage all the way up until the auction, all the way up until I say going once, going twice, the homeowner is the decision maker. If you want to do anything with that property, all the way up until the auction date, you've got to talk to the homeowner. Okay? Does that make sense? After the auction, at the auction, you come see me. That's the second phase. At the courthouse. We're going to get there. But all the way up, if they say you have an auction date scheduled for May 1st, all the way up until what, April 29th, April 30th, April 31st, if you want that property, you got to talk to the homeowner, okay? Then auction and beyond, the ownership changes. Does that make sense to everybody? Yes, yes, okay, okay. So yes, Alicia, all the way up until the auction, talk to the homeowner. Because like I said, the morning of an auction, that homeowner can file bankruptcy and stop an auction, okay? So all the way up until the auction, talk to the homeowner. Okay, I just had to put my face in so you know it's real. There you go. So let's keep going. We're doing good. We're making our way down this masterclass. Usually it takes me all day because y'all got questions and I just talk too much. But we're doing good tonight. So I always like to post properties that go up for auction or that are on the auction schedule, you guys. And I like to ask y'all, what do you think on properties? If it's a good deal, no deal, would you buy it? Would you not buy it? So here's a property, and I always say, because some of y'all are like, not y'all, but people are like, the only properties that go up for auction are like hood properties. And I'm like, no, it's not. So here's a property that went up for auction. It's worth 14.9 million. Clearly, it's in Beverly Hills. The opening bid was $5 million. It sold for $9.5 million. And let's just, because I know we all have at least 19 million in our bank account right now. If you had the money, would you have bought this property? Do you think they got a good deal on this property? Yay or nay? What do you think? In the chat. Good deal. Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Anthony, I know you're driving, so pay attention. Yes, good deal. It's worth 14.9. They got it for 9.5. Great deal. I see y'all's in the chat. Yes, equity. Boom. Okay. So that I like to show y'all what kind of goes up for auction. Not all the time, but that is a property that went up for auction. Let's keep going, class. Look at me. Thanks for participating. Here's another one, you guys. So opening bid was $55,290. It got bid up to $175,000. The investor that won the property turned around and sold it for $269,900. Was that a good deal? What do y'all think? Good deal? Deal or no deal? Opening bid was 55, sold for 175 at the auction, and that investor turned around and sold it for 269,900. Now, if y'all would have went and talked to that homeowner and got a deal at the 55,000, that spread would have been even bigger if y'all could have got that property before it went to auction. So, yes, good deal. Everybody's saying that's a good deal. So I like to show opening bid, but you see it got bid up. I guess a lot of people knew it was a good, good area, good deal. Carrollton, Georgia. And he turned around and sold it for $269. Here's one more, and then we'll keep going. Opening bid was $250. Sold at auction, got bid up to $407,000 at auction, and the investor turned around and put it back on the market and sold it for $579,000. I don't know if they just turned around. They probably had to update it and sold it for $579. Bought it for $407, sold it for $579. Good deal? Deal or no deal? Good deal. Now, if somebody would have got to the homeowner at $250, it's a good deal. Okay. Everybody thinks it's a good deal. He made some good money. I don't know how much he did in repairs, but there it is in Johns Creek, Georgia. All right. Where do we find auctions, y'all? Here are some websites for auctions. Let me open the chat. I will drop a website. Y'all can, hold on. Let me open this. I'll send the websites to you, but there are some: auction.com, Realty Track, Bid for Assets, williamsauction.com, 10x.com. Some really good auction sites if you are looking for auction properties. And don't worry, we're going to talk about auctions because I'm the auction mom. Other sites, especially for commercial: Realty Bid, LoopNet, CREXI. These are like commercials, so that could be multifamily, that could be offices, mobile homes. On some of those sites, they have like old Dollar Trees, just hotels, things like that. Hotel, motel, Holiday Inn, mobile parks, all kinds of stuff as far as commercial websites go when you're looking for commercial properties. Agriculture. You guys have not dropped it in the chat yet. Landwatch.com. A lot of people love that site if you're looking for land auctions. Landandfarm.com, Farms National, and UnitedCountry.com. If you want to bid on just some land, you want to start a farm, you say, I'm going to buy my own chickens because these eggs are too high. I'm going to give me some farmland. You just let me know and I'll come buy some eggs from you. Or you just want to get away from it all. You want some acreage. You want to start your own estate, whatever it is you want. You want to be a builder and you need some land to build on. Check these sites out, put in your county or city and see what's available where you live or in the places that you're interested in. Some of them are like hunting land or it's got lakes and stuff. Sometimes they sound like 88 acres, 188 acres, all kinds of stuff. So here are some trustee sites. Right? So the trustees are the people who post. Hold on. Somebody is not on mute. Somebody is thinking. I got it. There we go. So you guys, let's auction websites, foreclosure. So the trustee, y'all, let me get my back to where we're trustee sites. You guys, these are people who work for the banks, right? And sometimes they will post properties ahead of time, ahead of the auctions. I'll click on a couple of these and show you. But you can find auctions and pre-foreclosures on these sites. Hint, hint, wink, wink is what I'm saying. So, trustee sites. Here's another property. I think my face is in the... Here's opening bid was $423. It didn't even get bid up that high. Sold for $473 at the auction, and the investor turned around and sold it for $620,000. Was that a good deal? I know the answer to that, you guys. Y'all think that was a good deal? That the homeowner got? Oh, I've lost the chat. I'm sure y'all are saying, yes, that's a great deal. I just can't see it. So, you guys, let's keep going. Here's another one. And then, no, here's one. Opening bid was $524. It sold for $750,000. So it got bid up. And then the investor turned around and sold it for $1.1 million. What do you think? Deal or no deal? Good deal? I'm seeing y'all's chat. Yes, yes. Deal, deal all day. I see y'all's comments. Yes, that is a good deal, you guys. They bought it for 750 and sold it for $1.1 million. So when y'all are like, what's at the auction? A lot of y'all always ask me, so what's the average opening bid? Y'all, there is no average opening bid. The opening bid is the loan balance. If the homeowner has owned that home for 10 plus years, that loan balance, that opening bid might be low because they've been in the house for so long. But if they just bought in the last 2 or 3 years, they owe that whole entire loan, and that opening bid is going to be market value. So it just depends. You just got to do your research when it comes to auctions. Any questions? Any questions? I'll go to that. But any questions? I'm trying to make sure I don't miss any questions and I take them as I go. And we'll talk about auctions because there's some due diligence. Auctions are not for everybody. Everybody's blood pressure cannot handle going to the auction, right? And we'll talk about it so you can understand. But of course, I'm going to be biased, right? Because I work at the auction. It's a great place to pick up properties if you get them at the correct price and you know what you're doing. So, also, a lot of people ask, as an agent, can you get paid off of auction properties? And yeah, like on auction.com, there's a place that says broker co-op available, and you can get commission off of helping your buyer buy a property at the auction, auction.com and places like that. Me at the courthouse, you guys, you can't get commission. Come to see me at the courthouse unless you work that out with your client, but not with me, not me at the courthouse. There is no commission, but these sites like online auctions, they do offer buyer co-op and not buyer co-op, broker co-op and stuff like that. So it's possible that you could get paid helping your investor buy at the auction. Okay, you guys, does that make sense to everybody? Makes sense. We're doing so good and moving right along. I'm so proud of myself. So hold on. Let me make sure everybody is muted. Make sure everybody. I've learned how to mute everybody. Boom, mute all. Okay, I'm learning. So, yes, again, you can use a real estate agent at the auction. It says this is from auction.com site. We welcome agents. Check the property details. Have your agent or broker register for the property 24 hours before the auction. And you can identify your broker or agent when you register. And then, yes, they submit the W-9, and auction.com and a lot of these platforms will pay a broker co-op or commission. So all you agents out there who were wondering, you absolutely can. Look, here's another one. I put a bunch of little ones in here. So here is one. Opening bid is $598 and it's worth $725. It looks like it is on the market, right? So they are trying to sell before their auction. Looks like they cut that price $100. It looks like the loan balance is $598. They owe $725. They need to cut that price down a little bit more so they can go ahead and get off that property. But I see it all the time, which I don't mind. I think which is a good thing. If you can avoid foreclosure, if that means sell your property, sell it. Sell it. If you can't afford it anymore, put it on the market and sell it. Don't struggle with some high blood pressure trying to hold on to a property. We see it all the time. It's not worth it, you guys. It's not. And hopefully they let their agent know that they were in foreclosure too. So when it comes to auctions, a couple things to remember. Deeds and refunds come in the mail. I do not have deeds. I do not have refunds at the auction. So a lot of people, when they come to the auction, they pay in increments with their money, which means they will come with multiple cashier's checks. Because did I forget to mention, I only take cash at the auction. I only take certified funds at the auction. With me, there is no financing. There is no proof of funds. There is no earnest money, no deposits. All I take is certified funds. I don't take proof of anything. Certified funds in the complete amount. That is me at the courthouse, right? Trustee sales. Now, maybe on auction.com and all that, they might give you like 24 hours to wire the money. But me, I need the certified funds. And if you give me more, right? So if you maybe let's say you bring a cashier's check for $100,000, to the auction and you end up winning the property for $80,000, you get a $20,000 refund. I don't have $20,000 in my trunk to give you a refund. So it will come in the mail. Deeds also come in the mail, right? And then when you get the deed, you file it with the records and deeds office so your name can be on title. You file that deed. Be on time. Be early. Be early when you're going to the auction, especially if you're coming to my auction. Be early because they can go quickly. Make sure you go. I always tell people just go to the auction. I love when y'all tell me that y'all just go to the auction, just to go and look. It's open to the public. You can go see where you park, see who the auctioneer is, see what's going on, see how quickly the properties get bid up. Also, make the cashier's checks payable to yourself. Why? So if you win the property, you can just turn it over, endorse it to the trustee. If you don't win the property, you can just deposit it right back into your bank account, right? Things to remember when buying an auction property. You are buying blind. Okay, remember Steve? Steve couldn't pay his mortgage and he went into foreclosure and had an auction scheduled. Steve did not move out before his auction. Steve was still in that house with his wife and 2 kids, sitting in the driveway 20 minutes before he goes in the house. People can still be living in the house when you buy auction properties. If someone is in there, you can offer them cash for keys, or you will have to go to court and evict them. That also means there is no interior inspection before you bid at the auction. Now we all see what I mean. Like, this might not be for everybody. Everybody's blood pressure cannot handle buying blind at an auction. How many of y'all, let me know in the chat, how many of y'all would buy a property that you have not seen the inside of? Who would buy a property? Put yes, if you will, no, if you won't. If you would buy a property, look at Kia first. No, yes. If you can't see the inside of it, would you buy it? Okay, I got a bunch of yeses. I know you're gonna say if them numbers are right. Nope. Tico said nope. We got some more votes for nope. Yeah, for the right price, maybe. I see y'all. So yeah, it depends on what their price is, right? I've sold properties for $500 at the auction. Right now it was a rundown, but it was $500, and the girl, she just flipped it straight to an investor for I think like $19,000. Just she never even stepped foot in it. Bought it at auction for 500, flipped it right to an investor, and made her a quick $18,500 and never stepped foot in that property. So I have buyer flippers lined up. Well, come on, Melissa. I know you're up there in New Jersey? Y'all on top of the list for foreclosures this month, Melissa. So auctions. Also, don't forget right of redemption. That means the homeowner has a certain amount of time that they can come back and redeem that property. It depends on where you live, what county, what state you live in. It depends on the time frame where they can come back and redeem the property. I live in Tennessee, Shelby County. There is no right of redemption here in Shelby County. So if I auction off your property, you cannot get it back. And that's why I have to tell homeowners. Y'all, the resource that I have, the Auction Accelerator, that is my best-selling course. That is my best-selling course. I give you everything you need to learn if you want to buy at the auction. How to read title, a repair calculator, max bid calculator, everything. And then it's me in videos walking y'all through the auction process. So you can only imagine me. And I give you cash for keys, So if you're interested in going to the auction, check it out, and you're not sure where to start, check it out there. People love it. Look, people love it. They do. So moving right along, you guys, we're moving right along. I'm so proud of us. We're at the last phase of foreclosure. Any questions, you guys? Any questions? I want to make sure I'm doing so good without being distracted. Any questions in the chat? I'm looking at the chat really quick. I thought redemption was only on tax lien. Nope, it's on other foreclosure. It can be on property for mortgage foreclosures. It just depends on what state you live in. I think Georgia. No, let me not even do that. I was gonna say I think Georgia, but I don't know. But they can come back and redeem it. Like if the homeowner comes back with the money and has all the money, it's not likely, that the homeowner can come up with all of that money, but, they could come back and redeem it. Have you seen foreclosures in Massachusetts? I don't see these deals in Boston and surrounding. Y'all in Boston, I guess everybody up there paying their mortgage in Boston. But we can look. I would say check PropWire. PropWire is free, you guys. You can go on there, filter it by Boston. Pre-foreclosures, we'll walk you through it after the end of this. When people got to go to bed and go to work in the morning. I'll talk to y'all. Look, I'll talk to y'all after the masterclass. But put in auction.com and put in like your county in Boston and see what pulls up. But you're right, some places have more than others, but they're all coming. Boom, boom, boom. The foreclosures are coming. Thanks, Gerald. I am jamming over here, aren't I? Without getting distracted. Okay, so let's go back. Steve had 30 days to pay his past due amount or his home would go up for auction. Steve tried but was unable to pay his mortgage. Poor Steve. His home went up for auction. Boom, boom, boom. But it did not sell at the auction. Steve's home reverted back to the bank. What do we call properties that don't sell at auction and revert back to the bank? What do we call them? Y'all gonna say it in the chat or y'all gonna unmute?
REOs.
There it is. REOs. I knew y'all gonna say it or put it in the chat. That's right. REO properties, you guys. If they go up for auction and your auction mama does not sell them, that opening bid is too high because they just bought it 2 or 3 years ago and you go to the auction for a deal. You don't go to the auction to pay full price. You go to the auction and get a discount on a property. So if that opening bid is too high, it's not going to sell. Like the auction I had today, the opening bid was too high. It did not sell and it reverted back to the bank. And now Steve's house is an REO property, the third phase of foreclosure. We did the first one. He got behind the notice of default. Second phase, the auction is scheduled. The third phase, the property is repossessed. Boom. Y'all just learned the 3 phases of foreclosure right here tonight. Steve's home is now an REO property, real estate owned by the bank. Who owns the house now, class? Who owns it? Y'all can tell me. Who owns the house?
Bank.
The banks.
There we go. The banks own it. You're right. Y'all don't know if to put it in the chat or say it out loud. I know, I understand because that can be confusing. But yes, it reverted back to the bank. The bank is the decision maker. The bank is now the owner of the property. Okay. REO properties that have been completed the foreclosure process without being sold at auction are REOs. So the lender becomes the owner of the property, having acquired it through foreclosure. So when I say going once, going twice, sold, boom, the property the property has been foreclosed on. Y'all didn't even know your girl had that much power. Going once, going twice, sold. It's a foreclosure at that point, and it has been foreclosed on, and the bank is now the new owner if there's no bidder who bids on the property. Okay, we're moving right along, doing so good. So just a reminder, auctions, home sold through a public auction to the highest bidder. REOs, properties that failed to sell at auction and are now owned by the bank or the mortgage lender. Here is one, you guys. Opening bid was $1.3 million. They just bought the property in 2022 for $850,000. It's going up for auction for opening bid of 1.3. Y'all bidding on a property that, look, it looks like it's only worth 1.2. They just bought it in 2022. Would y'all bid on that property? Anybody bidding on this property? Opening bid is 1.3. Hello, Danita. Nope. Everybody's saying nope, nope, nope. So it looks like this property will revert back to the bank and become an REO property. Here's another one. Opening bid, I can't see because the little thing is at the top. Hold on. Hold on, you guys. I can't see. Opening bid looks like it's something. It's sold for $170,000. It looks like the retail is $447,000. Did they get a good deal on that property? Deal
Yeah.
or no deal? Sold for
Yeah.
170. Yep. And it's worth
Deal.
447,000. Deal for sure on that one. Remember Steve? Steve can file bankruptcy and cancel that auction. That is Steve's home until I say sold. He can go the morning of and pay for a bankruptcy and they will stop that auction, you guys. REOs, you negotiate with the bank. Auctions, you are bidding against others. Just a couple of things so you know. So some people, this is where most investors, right? If you're not trying to talk to the homeowner or deal with them or don't know, which way to go about that, you're going to go the auction route or you're going to go REO bank owned property. A lot of people are like, Ashley, I want to come to the auction. I want a foreclosure. Honestly, y'all want an REO. Y'all don't want to come see me at the auction with a homeowner still living in it. You can't see the inside of it, and it's all cash. Most people want an REO property, right? So, auctions, depending on where you live, it can be competitive, but you can hear all the bids, right? You can bid up $1 over or $100 over. Make sure you set your maximum bid before you go, right? You got to look at the property, see how much it's worth, try to estimate repairs that you can't see, and put all of that in you got to make cushion for that, and then set how much you're willing to bid, right? And then stay in your budget. REOs, you can negotiate with the bank, you guys, but those properties are absolutely as is. But you can do inspections, you can go inside, you can look around, you can bring your contractors, you can see how much repairs that property needs, right? You can see how much money you're about to spend at the auction and people living in it, and they might be angry. You never know what it's going to look like. And you can negotiate with the bank. You can't negotiate with me at the auction. Whatever I say the opening bid is, you bid up over it. Auctions, again, no interior access, right? REOs, the good thing that most people don't realize when it comes to REO properties or bank owned properties, you can use financing, you guys, depending on the property, conventional, FHA 203K, private money, hard money, whatever, under your mattress money, whatever you have, you can use it when it comes to buying an REO property. But just keep in mind the condition of the property. Like if it's a little rough, it's not going to go FHA. You know what I mean? So you just have to look at the property and see what financing, but you can use financing, right? You don't have to have all the money. So you're like, how am I going to invest when the foreclosures come? Just get your coins together and make sure your credit is right. And then you can buy a bank owned property and stack your money. There's entry points at every part of the foreclosure process, you guys. So again, auction certified funds, REO, financing. Get your credit right, get your hard money lender, whoever you use, and you can negotiate with the bank on REO properties. Now, for all my agents and real estate agents that are in the masterclass, a lot of y'all want to work with banks and asset managers. Here are a couple of websites that you can look at and maybe sign up and do REOs and that kind of stuff. You got to sign up, go through the process. Some of them you pay for, some of them you don't pay for. But if you're a real estate agent interested in working with asset managers and banks, here are a couple of websites that you should check out. Also, reonetwork.com is another great resource. It's a community of REO agents, and they have conferences and courses and all that kind of stuff if you want to get in on the distressed market. Any questions? I'm doing good. We're about
Hey,
to wrap it up.
hey, hey, Ashley.
Yep, Kia.
Number two,
Yeah.
LRES, it's been sold and it's now upscribe.com.
Oh, thanks, Kia.
So yeah, they've merged or gotten taken over, however you want to say it.
Look, we're gonna update this. This is real time. This is real life, people. What's it called, Kia?
Subscribe. I'm about to put the link in there for you.
Okay, but upscribe like UP.
AB.
AB.
SCR. Hold on. I think it's subscribe.
It's something like that. It's not lighthouse, you guys. Don't look for lighthouse. Don't look for the house with the light. Look for the subscribe. There we go. Kia dropped it in the chat for y'all. Everybody say thanks, Kia. So yes. So agents, everybody still with me? Everybody still, we rocking and rolling over here. Thanks, Kia. Shout out to Kia. Kia's a rock star.
Boo.
Oh, somebody ain't on. Look at me. Hold on, you guys. Somebody is not on mute, but I've learned how to mute everybody. Look at me learning. Mute all. Boom. Look at us. We rocking and rolling over here.
Ashley, quick
Yes.
question.
Uh-huh.
I put a question in the chat. Do you have any advice as to how to compete with at an auction with big investors?
You know, and that's the thing, right? Like, because you are bidding against other people. I feel like if you live somewhere where you got a bunch of investors and you know they're buying up everything, your best route is probably going to be trying to talk to that homeowner first, right? Or getting to that homeowner before, if you're in a highly competitive place, right? Or then you would have to go the bank-owned REO route. But a lot of people are like, how long does it take from auction, like not being bid on at auction, reverting at auction to becoming an REO property? And that process can take a while, right? When I say, well, if it doesn't sell, the bank goes through its processes and, you know, they have to go out to the property and inspect it. So it can take a while from not selling at auction to actually becoming an REO. So if you're somewhere where maybe it's a lot of competition with hedge funds and these big investors, you might have to, you know what I mean? You might have to try to get to that homeowner before everybody else gets to them, if that makes sense. Yeah. Okay.
Yes, it does. One
Okay.
more question, Ashley. One
Yes.
more question. You just indicated that for the REOs, it's you pretty much just said if you have a real estate license. I did not update my real estate license, therefore I got to go back and do the whole process over. But is there any way someone off the street can get access to REOs?
Yeah, you know, I showed all those. Well, hold on, we have to get to the slides. But yes,
Okay,
of
sorry.
course, you can buy REO properties, and I'll share those websites with you. Yes, this is just for this REO firms, banks, and asset managers. If you're an agent and you want to be a listing agent for the bank, like you want to list for them, these are those sites. If you want to work directly with the bank to list the properties as an agent. But now, if you want to buy REO properties. Hold on, I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna share the sites with you. Yes, absolutely. There's sites that you can go on as an investor and bid on properties and buy properties directly from the bank. Got it? Got it. Yes, you got it. Okay. Okay. So really quick, other opportunities, like if you're not an agent and you don't have a license, you don't want to list, always remember, you guys, when foreclosures come or distress market comes, there's other opportunities, right? You don't have to be an agent just to work in this space. They need Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac and all them need other vendors, right? Bank and asset companies need reliable vendors from lawn care to inspections. This is a business opportunity, even if you're not an agent. So let me scroll. I can't see my mouse. So, such as property preservation, lawn care, winterization, trash outs. These are all opportunities that these banks and asset managers might need or need, you know, in the future. So don't feel like if I'm not an agent, I can't, you know what I mean? You can get in here. So here is Procure One Fannie Mae. Here's the site you can go on. Did I put it in there? I did. Can y'all still see my screen? Yeah. Somebody say yeah.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. So here's the site, fanniemae.com. I'll drop the site in there. In it, you can go on here and it talks about what goods or services that Fannie Mae purchases or vendors that they use, you guys. So don't feel like if I'm not a real estate agent, you can do trash outs, you can do lawn care, you can do all kinds of stuff. You know what I mean? So here's just some things that they Go on there. So go on there, set you up an account, let them know what you offer. I know a lot of y'all do property preservation. You know, go on there. What I always say, in case your friends won't tell you, Cash App is not a professional form of payment. Don't go on these people's websites and put Cash App is how you accept and send money. You better get on Stripe, have a legit business, set you up invoices. Cash App is not it, right? We're not doing brown eyes. 23 is your Cash App when you're working with the banks. So be legit so they can pay you legitly. Okay. Everybody understand? Okay. Not that I needed to say that, but I said it. Okay. So there's other opportunities in this, in this industry, you guys. Make sure I don't. Can I go back a slide, please? To which, hold on. Vendors needed. Vendors needed. Other opportunities. Who asked me to go back a slide? Tell me which slides you want me to go back to. Okay, I'll watch the chat and see if you put it in the chat. What slide it was. Hold on. Y'all put it in the chat. Tina. I see your message, Tina. Okay. If I need to go back again, let me know, or I'll tell y'all. Here's one more, and y'all, we wrapping it up. That's the last phase, you guys. Opening bid, $77,896. It's sold for $109,500. It looks like it's worth $236. Deal or no deal? 109,000 worth 236,400. Deal or no deal? Deal or no deal? I'm always like, the best deal is if you could have talked to that homeowner directly, and then you won't have to bid up. But
Deal.
deal. Everybody's saying deal, deal. Cool, cool beans, you guys. Okay, moving right along. There we go. There are REO websites. So if you just want to go on there and look for a property, you're not an agent, you're just an investor, you're just a homeowner, like somebody looking to buy a property. Here are some REO websites. You go on there, put in your county, your city, wherever you live, and it will pop up the properties that are available. I'll walk you through that towards the end, but I want to make sure I get all the slides out. So here they are. I'm gonna leave it on the screen. So if you want to screenshot it, write it down, whatever you want to do. But Wells Fargo has their own. Wells Fargo, Bank of America, and Truist, they all have their own REO site. HUD Home Store, Home Steps, Home Path. You go in there, you submit a contract. They have a listing agent on there that you can contact. If you have your own real estate agent can submit your documents for you. Negotiate. You know me, I'm playing limbo. How low can you go? So negotiate. Do not feel like you have to, offer the bank full price. Other REO websites, auction.com, you can filter it by foreclosures or bank owned. When you go to auction.com, you can look at all of them. There they are, you guys. I will drop it in the chat here shortly, a list of the websites in case you didn't write it down. But there you go. Websites for bank owned properties if you are looking for them. Don't forget to do your inspection. Don't forget to negotiate in all of those things. So here's another one, big and small. If you get behind, it will fall. I was trying to think of a rhyme. It is a whole apartment complex that went up for auction. I think it's in, where is it? Arizona, I think it is. Opening bid was $86 million. The entire apartment complex went up for auction. Y'all know commercial is, a little shaky right now. Everybody's watching commercial real estate right now. I feel like if you, had a goal or a plan for a commercial property, it'd be a good time to buy one, but you just make sure you got a goal or plan for it, is what I'm saying. You can probably get a property for a good amount. So like on auction.com, you can filter it by bank owned or foreclosure. Foreclosure is auction. Foreclosure is auction. Bank owned is bank owned, okay? Or you can filter it by all. Foreclosures are going to be the auctions coming up. Bank owned, the bank owns it. Self-explanatory on that one. How to buy it. Like I said, look, I got ahead of the slides, you guys. How to buy it. Traditional financing, conventional, FHA, FHA 203K, VA, USDA, hard money, soft money. whoever's money, under the mattress money. That's how you can buy. You can use financing to buy an REO property. So the barrier of entry is a little easier than coming to see me at the auction where I need all your coins up front. You can work with the agent. You get an inspection. I already said all this, you guys. I got ahead of my slides. You can get an agent. You have to have an agent to submit an offer. If you don't have an agent, you can go on there and there is a listing agent in front of the property, not in front. Y'all know what I mean. There's a listing agent you can contact and they will submit your offer. Okay. Make sure to do your inspections. You can see the inside of the property, you guys. Take your home inspector, your contractor, your uncle, whoever you want to take them out there and make them walk through and give you an idea of how much it's going to cost to get the property ready to sell or live in or whatever. Okay. You do what you can do. Don't forget to negotiate, you guys. It's the bank. Negotiate. Okay. They might counter, you can counter back. They might counter again, you can counter back again. Okay. Don't feel like you don't want to offend the bank. It's the bank. They offend us all the time. So negotiate. Okay. So look, oh my gosh, we made it to the end. You guys, I made you a little action plan. Look at me with my sunglasses on. So a little action plan for May because April is almost over. And if you don't know where to start, you guys, you just have to start is what I would say. The people that are working are winning. The people in the mentorship that are working, winning right now. You got to put in the work. So I made a little schedule for you all. On Mondays, you can research. On Tuesday, you can send out letters. Wednesdays, follow up. All I'm saying is do something. Go to the auction. Go to a little meetup. Most cities have real estate meetup groups and go in there and see what that's about. Go to the auction. If you don't have any money, just don't bid. But you can go and see and get in the atmosphere and you might get motivated to send a letter. You know what I mean? You can drive for dollars, so. What's next, you guys? I got a masterclass next Thursday. Some of y'all came to it last month. My pre-foreclosure playbook. So everybody who's interested in reaching out to pre-foreclosures, we are having a masterclass next Thursday. Yes, it is $97 because I give you all the trustees. I give you bank scripts, authorizations. We talk offers, we talk everything. That is the master class that I had last month. That was supposed to be an hour, and it went for 3 hours. Some of y'all were in that master class. Ray, was you in that master class? I don't know if Ray's still in here. Some of y'all was in it last.
Yep, I was there.
Yes. Was it a good master class?
Excellent.
Right, like excellent. But anyway, you guys, it's next Thursday. It is $97. I will put the link up. Last thing, and then I will take questions, and then we can go into the after party. Y'all asked me about the mentorship. I'm not going to say it's the last one, but I'm going to say it will probably be the last one for a while. You guys, my daughter gets out of school next month, and then we start summer break. And like I'm telling the people in the mentorship, we just got to lock in for the next 2 or 3 years. And I'm going to lock in for the next 2 or 3 years, right? And start building this machine. So it starts May 7th. It runs for 5 weeks. I will drop all the links in the chat. We meet every Wednesday at 7:30. Who's in the mentorship? Kia in here. A bunch of y'all in here. Ray in the mentorship. Do y'all enjoy it? Do y'all learn a lot in the mentorship, you guys?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
I want more. I want more.
Okay, Ray. So funny. So anyway, it starts May 7th. It goes for 5 weeks. We meet every Wednesday at 7:30, and we just teach on a topic. We have such a good community. We got some heavy hitters, I feel like, in the mentorship currently right now. Kia's on here. Ray doing deals. Kia's the BPO queen in Virginia. And we just share and we learn and we go over deals. And so if you're interested in that, learning how to market to pre-foreclosures. If you want to get to them before they go up for auction, you guys, disclaimer. This is not a wholesale mentorship. Do I have wholesalers in there? Yes. Is it a wholesale mentorship? No. But because I teach you how to lead with love, You're going to know how to do the foreclosure process, the options homeowners get. You're helping them, right? And maybe if they do decide to sell, yes, then you're there. But a lot of times it's just helping them find their best option, leading with love. That is what we're doing. That is what I will teach you to do. All my marketing methods, how to talk to homeowners, banks, offers, all of those things. So it starts May 7th. It comes with all of the letters. It comes with it if you're in the mentorship. So you can sign up till May 6th. It also comes with the foreclosure marketing blueprint, my course. So if you don't want to join the mentorship for 5 weeks, you can sign up for the blueprint course, and it tells you all of my marketing methods, all of them. Y'all know that I mail, y'all know that I call, but there are some other things that I do. And I'll walk you through all the marketing methods that I do. I've also got some it's got some mentorship videos in it, so y'all can kind of see what the mentorship is like. And if you don't want to do anything else, you guys, I've got 300 videos on YouTube about auctions, foreclosures, everything. So go check out the videos. I teach you, I need to upload more. Shout out to everybody who subscribed. Y'all know how I am with uploading. I try to go live on Sundays, you guys. So go check those out. 3 of my favorite movies, and one of them is in the top 10 on Netflix right now. 99 Homes. If you have Netflix, go check it out. It has a whole bunch of profanity in it, so don't watch it with your kids, okay? Unless you use a whole bunch of profanity in front of your kids. 99 Homes, 3 of my favorite movies, The Inside Job and The Big Short. If you did not know, I am like obsessed with the last housing crash. Everything I am. Like every book, every movie, every documentary. I don't know. I was licensed in 2006, so I went through it, but just to learn more about it and to see the same things that happened then that are happening now. So 3 of my favorite movie recommendations, check them out. And guess what, you guys? We made it to the end, and it's not like tomorrow. It's not Friday. It was literally an hour and a half. This has never happened. It's you. Well, that's what I say until y'all start asking questions, and then I got to share my screen. But you guys, let me know where you're from. If you're interested in buying or selling, what cities. If you got a social media handle, I'm gonna look at the chat. You guys, I'm gonna make myself. I'm gonna make myself a little bigger. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. We made it in a timely fashion. If you've ever been to my masterclass, y'all know that I can talk.
This is a first.
I know, Isabel.
I would have to say.
Don't do it, Isabel. Look, don't do it. But y'all know.
I just have to give a plug real quick, okay, Ashley?
Thank you. Thank you.
Seriously, I mean, anybody that is on the fence, you need to get off the fence. I'm pushing you over because this beautiful lady, she holds nothing back. She seriously gives all the secrets. There are no secrets, really. And our group is so awesome. Everybody exchanges information freely. It's just, I'm blessed beyond measure. Seriously, I do not say that lightly.
Yes.
The Lord knows this to be true. And I mean,
Isabel,
I
you guys, Isabel's this is our second mentorship, I think. Isabel sent out her letters and she got a homeowner. She called me and she was like, Ashley, the homeowner just called me, get on the phone with me. And so we walked through it though. You know what I mean?
Yes,
like Isabel had no experience talking to a homeowner, but we got through it and she went and talked to her and everything. So you guys, thank you guys before y'all all, but questions. Look, questions. That's where I wanted to go with this. I'm like, talk to me about questions. Any questions that I missed or y'all might have, y'all got me. And if not, you guys, replay will come out tomorrow. If you have to go to sleep, go to sleep. I appreciate everybody coming. That concludes the masterclass. I made it in an hour and a half. That has never happened, you guys. I know. So
yeah, this feels kind of weird. I think
I know we're not here, and then I'm like on the East Coast. It's 10:30.
I keep forgetting about that.
So yes, you guys. Do y'all have any questions, y'all? At this point, let me try to. I have myself pinned. Ooh, y'all gonna be like,
I do have a question here.
Yes, Kurt, talk to me.
So actually, I wanna get I work in finance. I work in corporate America. I just had enough of it. So I
Yeah.
want to use this as an opportunity to launch my own investment type firm. Um, in your masterclass, do you go over how to set everything up from scratch and to get to the point in which I want to get to?
So like set up as a business, like LLC, all that kind of
No,
stuff.
I already did the LLC and all that part of it already. I want to be able to know how to identify how to get the property, how to buy it, how to flip it, that process.
So let me tell you, the mentorship is just like a foreclosure, pre-foreclosure mentorship. Like it's people who want to reach out to people who are in foreclosure. I show you how to market to them, like letters, that kind of stuff. Then when you call them, like we talk about conversations, and if you talk to the bank, those kind of things. And yes, we talk about offers and that kind of stuff. Like if you want to submit an offer, how much do you offer somebody? But what I say is it like, can I'm gonna take you from A to Z on getting a business started? I don't know about that, Kurt. You giving me too much leeway on that. If I'm gonna teach you how to flip it, how much money, you know what I mean? You could come and learn how to get properties, but I don't want you thinking you finna come in here and I'm be like, Kurt, now well, you're gonna have to get these windows, and these windows gonna cost $10,000.
No, that part of it, I'm cool with. But I just want to know in terms of the mentorship because I would like to be a part of that. Um, I just wanted to know what type of information was involved, but I think you just explained it to me, which more or less is how to get the letters out, how to identify a property and such like that. I live in New York, by the way.
Oh, do you? I had in my first mentorship, Rudy, he was out of New York. Y'all's properties are super expensive in New York,
Yes,
for
yes.
sure. Yeah, so yes, I get it. Um, any other questions? I don't know. Any other questions that I missed? Did y'all learn something? Do you feel like y'all learned something in this masterclass? Let me put some sites in the chat for y'all because I have the websites for if you want properties, not properties. Let me get my thoughts together. The websites for auction properties, REO properties, that list. I just dropped that in the chat. How low to negotiate with the bank? You know me, I'm like, how low? We play in limbo. How low can you go when it comes to the bank? I don't know. Maybe look in, I mean, y'all probably not gonna do my method. We're not gonna do the 70% rule, but I would do the 70% rule, where it's 70% of ARV and offer them that. You know what I mean? And the bank will come back and counter, or the bank will say, no, it's too low. You just trying to get the conversation open with the bank, honestly, when you start submitting offers, if that makes sense. So offer, you know what I mean? And see what they say. All they can say is no or counter, and then we'll go from there. You know what I mean? Any other questions? I cannot believe it is 8:38. This has never happened. So I am happy about that. Any other questions, you guys? I know we talked about PropWire. We talked about some foreclosure sites. Do we need to talk about that or everybody's mind is clear? Is that what y'all are telling me? All minds are clear and we can get off here and go to bed? Melissa's shaking her head like, no.
You actually got through the slides, Ashley.
I can't even believe it. Melissa, what was you about to say?
So I was gonna say, how you doing? First of all, sorry I haven't been on here in a while.
Yeah.
It's been a roller coaster going on, but I'm trying to get myself ready and back. I was out trying to get my coins so I can
Yeah.
be ready, so I don't have to get. So my question is about the records and deeds.
Yes.
You have mentioned something about records and deeds. Like
I got you.
we can
Yeah.
contact records and deeds to find out more about the pre-foreclosures or the actual foreclosures.
I dropped it in the chat. Records and deeds, a lot of times that's where you can find the public notices that they post about upcoming auctions, right? They file it with the records and deeds office. I just dropped it in the chat, you guys.
Okay.
And if you look at it, it might have where you live. I found most of the state's records and deeds office. So if you click on that link, you might see yours and you go and they might have like trustee sales or public notices. I would say search for that. And then it might bring up the properties that are up for auction in your county. So I did that legwork for you and dropped that in the chat. Um, What else is in the chat? The website link with auctions, REO, commercial properties, that's in the chat too. You guys, look at us. We in here. Almost can go to bed at a decent time. Any other questions? Any other questions? Y'all got me?
Ashley.
Yes,
I
ma'am.
do actually. I got a question. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
She gonna go and then you gonna go, Tico. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. So how much is your mentorship?
So look, well, how much is it? I think it's $5.99. But if you go to the pre-foreclosure class, I subtract that from the mentorship. So, and I think the pre-foreclosure class kind of gives you a sneak peek on the mentorship. So you can kind of see if it's something you'd want to do. And if it is, I subtract that from the cost of the mentorship.
So Ashley,
Yes.
I've been a realtor for some time and I'm not a newbie. You know, I've built like 7 homes from ground up.
Yeah.
But I'd like to join your mentorship. So which best package can I get? And you can please put it in the link and I will sign up. I like your teaching.
Thank you.
I've been following you. I've watched some of your videos too. Yeah, I just want to, be with you.
Yeah, look, I just want to be with you. You can be with me. What I was gonna say was so the mentorship for sure. It's 5 weeks. You get me for 5 weeks every Wednesday, 7 o'clock. We go through marketing, everybody's wins, challenges, what they got going on, and then I teach. And the good thing is it is a community. Like Kia is a killer BPO person. I know Kia, like, Ashley, don't start calling my name. Killer BPO. She's killing BPOs. Like we got another person who's killing what's Avriel killing Kia? REO section, right? Killing REO. So everybody kind of collaborates, tells what's working, what they're doing. And that's, I think the community is why people keep coming back to the mentorship. But if that's what you're looking for, I would say the mentorship. If you feel like you are self-led, you don't need that accountability, that part of it, then get the blueprint course and you can walk through it. I teach you my marketing methods. I do share some mentorship videos in it. It comes with the letters. So you still get that, but you just don't get me every Wednesday night for 5 weeks and on, right? So thanks, Ray. Look at Ray in the chat. Ray, what are you doing? Where are you?
Okay, so
I am right here.
Go ahead.
So should I just get this one? I still like to get your marketing stuff and
yeah. So the mentorship comes, okay, so this is what happens. When you sign up for the mentorship, you automatically get the blueprint course because I want you to start before you see me on Wednesday. So as soon as you sign up, you get in the course and you start going through the marketing methods. You can watch the mentorship, you get the letters, you get everything before you see me in May. And then in May, then we start the mentorship. So it's like you get something as soon as you get in. So you get everything with the mentorship. Every
Thank you. Can you send the link?
Absolutely. I'll drop it in the chat. Ray, no, hold on. Tico, before I let Ray talk. Go ahead, Tico.
First of all, I'd like to thank you for everything you're doing. You definitely lead with love.
Thank you.
And
look at me. Thank you.
yes, ma'am. My question is on foreclosures.
Yes.
So the banks, they don't care about the value. They just want the balance on what's owed on the loan.
So when you're
Correct?
talking about REO, right? We talking REO or we
Right.
talking auction? Okay,
Right.
so I would say they do. Okay, so when it comes to REO, people are always like, is it cheaper to go to the auction or is it cheaper to go REO? So REO, once the bank gets it, it's going to add its fees. The bank is going to add their fees in there, right? Like carrying costs, trash out fees, commissions. They're going to put some fees in it, but it still could be considerably lower than market value. Right. So Tico, you think probably like how I think. So if I'm bidding on an REO property, not bidding, but putting in an offer on an REO property, my first train of thought is I'm going to go, and y'all follow me. I do not want to lose anybody or y'all get confused. If I'm bidding on a bank-owned property, I'm going to go and look, right, and see how much that owner foreclosed for. And then that will give me an idea of maybe what number the bank is looking for. Okay. Now that doesn't mean it's right, but I'm going to try to figure out in my head, okay, if the previous owner foreclosed for this, they probably trying to clear this loan. Boom. And that's, well, good night, everybody. If I have to go, good night. I love all of you. Then I will make an offer. But I'm going to see how much they foreclose on it for, and then I'm going to offer lower than that. Because, I told you we play in limbo. How low can you go? I expect you to counter or deny my first offer. I'm just trying to get this conversation open. Okay. So did that answer your question? Because I take the scenic route when I answer questions. I can't just answer a question straight out.
That's
Okay.
good. I got it. Yeah, it made sense. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. Because I'm gonna go around the world to answer a question where I could have been like, yes, Tico, you're right. Any other questions, you guys? The replay will be up tomorrow. Any other questions? Ray, go ahead. Go ahead, Ray.
I just want to tell everybody that you actually do way more than what you say you're going to do. And all they have to do is follow your lead, and they're going to get paid.
Did you get paid,
That's
Ray?
all.
Look, Ray out there.
I got paid $30,000.
Because he locked up
Yep.
2 deals. Yeah.
Follow your lead. Following everything that you said with the letters, the cold calling, the slide
Everything.
dial,
Yeah.
everything.
So, and a lot of people, I just share my marketing methods. And then some people, so like y'all know, like I mail letters. Look, here we go. This is the after party, the party after the party. So I send letters, right? There's some people who are like, I'm not going to call because calling is too, you don't want to get cursed out. You know what I mean? I get that. So people will send letters, and I tell you I tell you my letter, you tweak it, take my letter and run with it, right? So I send letters. There's also, I try to touch the homeowner every single week. Keep in mind that public notice comes out 30 days before the auction. A month before the auction, that notice comes out. So I'm trying to talk to that homeowner every single week leading up to their auction. I'm trying to get in contact to see if I can help them, offer them some solutions. I'm leading with love and all that to keep them from going to foreclosure, right? So that is letters. So if that's something that you're interested in, do letters. Everybody don't want to get on the phone. Some people don't want to do letters. Some people would rather get on the phone, right? So I feel like whatever you do, you have to do it consistently, because there's times that I mail and people don't call me back, right? But I'm consistent. I've been mailing for the last 5 years, every single week. So, but there's different marketing methods, and we talk about that kind of stuff and what to say to homeowners. And when you got to get on the phone with the bank and the homeowner, what do you say in that conversation, right? So it's just those things. So yeah, Ray, but whatever you do, you guys, even if you don't sign up for the mentorship, right? Reach out, market, call, or think of your own letter. You guys, the letters that I have, if you buy the bundle, I think they're like $19. Literally, y'all know I don't bust your head on stuff. The way I see other real estate people busting y'all's head on stuff, right? They'll just make you sign up for a masterclass and be like, now, if you go to this website, you'll get the information. And you like, what's the website? That's why I paid for this masterclass, so you could tell me what the website is. So, anyway, just do something, because you guys, the foreclosures are coming. They are coming, regardless if the news shows it or whoever. They're coming for sure, you guys. And now with the new, what I'm gonna say, it's a new sheriff in town, right, in office. He don't believe in assistance. He don't believe in none of those programs. So if you've been safe for 5 years, they're going to start pushing those houses out. The foreclosures are for sure coming. Kia, look, because Kia, know I'm about to call on her. Kia, how many BPOs have you been doing in the last month? Kia's the BPO queen, if you didn't know that. Go ahead, Kia. I know she like, Ashley, why do you call on me every day?
Average monthly right now,
Yeah.
about anywhere from 250 to 300.
BPOs. If you do not know what a BPO is, it is a broker price opinion. It is when people get behind on their mortgage, the bank will send you out, will send an agent out to go look at the property, like do a exterior look on it, see if it's vacant, occupied, all that kind of stuff, and report back to the bank. 250 to 300, you guys. So just understand it's coming, whether we agree with it or not. So, any other questions, you guys? Any other questions? Oh, look at y'all. Y'all staying for that. But look, I've tried to get off here early and y'all just sitting here looking at me. So that's okay. Don't worry, because y'all know I can keep teaching because y'all know that's how it works. Um, because a new article just came out. Clearly, I enjoy talking to y'all, don't I? So a new article just came out because I follow foreclosures like, I just follow them. I did a video on it, but I didn't get to share all of the information. A new article just came out with the updated foreclosure numbers. So foreclosure starts increased. We got 68,000 properties started the foreclosure process. I talked about that today. States, Kansas, Delaware, Oklahoma, Utah, and Wyoming. Honestly, those states aren't usually on the list of foreclosures. I think it's because they went from like zero to maybe a handful. It looks like their numbers increased because I don't never see Wyoming. Are there houses in Wyoming? I'm just kidding if you live in Wyoming. Or Utah. I think they went from having none to just having a few more. So it looks like they increased like 58%. So and then cities, we've got Chicago, Illinois, New York, Houston, Texas had 3,046 foreclosure starts. Miami, Florida, 2,028. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania had 1,985. It's also got the states with the highest rate. Y'all like, Ashley, how you gonna teach again? But here we are. Since y'all didn't want to hang up, here we are. So I can always find something to talk about. Highest foreclosure rates. These are overall, you got the highest amount of foreclosures in your state and city. Delaware, Illinois, Nevada, Indiana, and South Carolina. If we have to pinpoint some cities, Columbia, South Carolina, Lakeland, Florida, Bakersville, California, Riverside, California, Chico, California. Isabel, what part of California you in?
Let's see. It's Antelope Valley.
Yeah. Is
It's
it close?
the high desert.
Okay. I didn't know if it was close to any of these Riverside or any of those kind of places.
Yeah, probably about an hour and a half from Riverside.
Okay. See? Okay, California. Lenders repossessed, what I taught y'all today. When the bank repossesses a property, that's an REO, right? Almost 10,000. That number is super low, you guys. The number is super low compared to 2008. States that had the greatest number of REOs: California, Texas, Illinois, Pennsylvania, and Michigan. You guys, the average time to foreclose, properties foreclosed in quarter 1 have been in foreclosure process for 671 days. 600, and that's over a year and something, right? That's the average amount of time. That means people haven't paid their mortgage in years, with the S. States with the longest average foreclosure timelines were Louisiana with 3,000 days. That's like 3 years. That's like 4 years. That's like 5 years. That's a lot of years. Louisiana's average foreclosure timeline is 3,000 days. Hawaii, 2,000 days. We don't talk about Hawaii because they're still trying to recover. Kentucky, 1,000 days. Wisconsin, 1,900. And New York, 1,900 days. I bet a lot of these states are judicial too. So they go through a process. But I'll drop this article in the chat if y'all want to read it, just for your own understanding. Lean not on your own understanding. You read the foreclosure articles and see what's going on. And you can see where your state is ranked. You know what I mean? I'll drop it in the chat. How is Delaware #1? Y'all like the smallest state in the whole country. Maybe that's why. Because the amount of homes compared to the size of the state, you know what I mean? But anyway, y'all can see where your state is. Okay, y'all. Look, I just gave another little filibuster. Did you just see what I did? So, do y'all have some more questions, or can we all go to bed and enjoy our Good Thursday and Good Friday? Do y'all have some more questions? E Fine, I see you on there. Anthony, I see you down there too. Look, I see y'all. Everybody in the little. Yeah, I said I was gonna call on you if I saw you. Isabel, Tawana, Ray, Kia. I see y'all. Any other questions, or can we all go to bed? Is that what we're doing? Or do I
Good
gotta?
night.
What'd you say? What did you say?
Good night.
Good night. Yes, we can all go
I'm
to
on
bed.
the East Coast. I'm hanging in there, but I'm sleepy.
I know Kia. I know Kia. You used to
I
the
heard that.
Okay, you guys, let's go to sleep then. I'm all for it. You know I don't know how to hang up, so we're just gonna hang up on three. Um, don't forget replay will go out tomorrow, so check your email. I will send the replay. You can watch it. It will have all the links in it. Um, I'm on Instagram, Your Agent Ashley. This is how I close out on YouTube. Instagram, Your Agent Ashley. I'm on Facebook. I'm on YouTube, Your Agent Ashley. So you guys, that's all I got. Now y'all go and invest in some foreclosures and make lots of money, okay? And help the
Thank you.
homeowners. You're
Thank you.
Thank you, Ashley.
You're welcome. Good night. We made it before 9 o'clock. This is the best masterclass ever. Bye, you guys. Bye, you guys. Hang up. Bye.